We're told to follow our passions, but what if that passion turns into a hustle, into a little bit of a painful growth curve? I want to have an honest chat about a couple of things today. As an artist and a content creator, there are a lot of things that are absolutely wonderful and great about this. And then there are some things that are just a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult. And today I want to talk about my experience, what I go through. And if I go through it, I kind of have a feeling that you might be going through it as well. So I just want to have a nice, open, honest, and transparent chat. I'd like to break this up into 3 different categories. One is just the art process itself. The other one is the business side of things and starting an art career, an art business. And the other one is talking a little bit about the YouTube journey and having an art channel. So let's talk a little bit about just the art process itself and where you might run into some hiccups. And disclaimer, before I start any of this, I want to say this is not me complaining about life. This is not me yelling, "Ambulance, feel sorry for me." No, I just want to do this because I feel this is genuinely something that people go through, and I think it's a good thing to discuss these things and just to be raw, authentic, and honest. I apologize that you're gonna hear some sort of background noise. I have a little heater going on. We're heading in towards winter. I need to keep my upstairs somewhat warm, so yes, that's gonna be in the background. My apologies. I'm looking into getting microphones in the future. Okay, so let's talk about balancing creativity and productivity. Okay, personally, I'm a single mom and I have a lot of responsibilities, and I don't want to, I'm going to talk about work and life balance later on, but this kind of ties in together because I work from home. Now, what do I do on a daily basis to get my creative juices flowing? Well, personally, I try to set a time aside every day on weekdays that I will paint. Like, okay, I want to paint today for an hour, and I tend to block that in, but it doesn't always work out that way. There are days where I'm trying and it doesn't work, or you paint and you feel terrible, or you're not getting where you want to be. This painting right here, after this session, I felt terrible. I don't like where this painting is sitting at this point. I just turned it around for this video so that there's a little bit of backdrop. By the way, I don't think you can see it. Let me just pull it up a little closer. Where it is sitting at this point, I was so extremely frustrated. I turned it around like this on my easel so I wouldn't look at it. And I am gonna try to work on it today. Try. It's not all fun and games. We don't always wake up with this happy feeling, oh, I'm gonna paint this and it's gonna be amazing. Some days you're just really pushing through like, oh gosh, I don't feel motivated. I don't want to do this. Well, why are you in this, profession niche, or why do you even do this if you don't want to do this? Well, we all go through these phases, right? We all feel unmotivated at times. And at the same time, and it ties in a little bit with content creating, it does, because I do want to have my paintings done at a certain time so I can create them into a video. So there's a little bit of pressure on the back, like, okay, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. It's not like I'd love to work on this. It becomes feeling like I need to work on this. Another thing that I struggle with is motivation during slow growth. At this point, it is a slow going because I have other responsibilities I need to work on, and I can only squeeze so much time for my creative things. And just to keep that going and to just keep showing up for myself, for my art, for my audience, it is sometimes hard to stay motivated. I don't always want to do this. I don't always feel motivated. Currently, I'm going through a little bit of almost an identity crisis in a way, because I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to create? What makes me come alive? What makes me feel like, yeah, I'm on top of the world, right? And I like painting animals. I like painting realistically. And I also like painting landscapes. Hold on one second. Finn, hey! There's a kitten. There's 2 kittens running around. They're about 7 months old. They're teenagers and they're little hooligans. And I flipped up a mattress so that I had space to film. But it would just be like them to try to climb that, scale it, knock it over, and then we have a whole other problem on our hands. And I kind of lost my train of thought now. I did not prepare this video much at all. I have a few points here that I wanted to talk about, and the rest is just coming from me because I want it to be raw and authentic. I don't want to just read off a script. I just want you to see who I am, and I don't want you to just like get some sort of fake person that is like and when you feel like this, you go do this, and when you feel like that, oh, try this. And you know, that is great and all, and I don't think it's bad to have like a positive attitude about things, but at the same time, reality is reality, and sometimes you just struggle, and sometimes you just don't feel like doing things. Sometimes you don't want to create because either you're afraid to make mistakes, or you just, something else happened that day that just kind of got your mood slightly off. You might not have had a great night's sleep and you're tired. For us women, we might be in there like during a certain period like of our cycle. I said it, our period. It is hard sometimes to show up. And I think it's okay to realize that, like that I'm not a robot. I'm a person, I'm a human being, you know, and if I have a shitty day, it's okay to skip the filming. It's okay to skip the editing. It's okay to not put yourself behind that easel if you don't feel like it. Now, not to say that sometimes you have to push yourself. That's okay. Sometimes you got to push through. Sometimes you got to show up for you. But with in the back of your mind that you're not trying to please somebody else, that you're just trying to, you know, enhance your skills. Now, let's talk a little bit about the business side of things. Personally, I don't have an art business up and running yet. I'm in the process of getting that going, and that has been a struggle and a half because I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to portray to the world? Who do I want the world to see, right? Obviously, I want to just be me, but then I'm looking at website design right now. I'm trying to get a website going, and gosh, I did not know how many steps I'd had to take for that. And sure, there are websites or places where you can go and you can have templates, and then you can, you know, if you want a very simple format, definitely, you know, you can just plop a few things in there. That's what I at least thought was going to be the case, and actually it turns out there's so much more that I don't know about web design. And it's not about coding and stuff like that, even just the plain things and moving things around and picking the certain fonts and picking a certain color. And it's like, I spent hours one day just going through a few things and getting more and more frustrated. I was so angry by the end of it, and I'm just like, is this really worth it? And at the same time, I'm like, okay, I gotta chop this up into bite-sized pieces, spend maybe half an hour to an hour a day here or there, and then leave it, then walk away from it and don't get obsessed with it. I wanted to have this up and running in a certain period of time, and now I have to kind of accept the fact that that's not going to happen, that it's going to take more time. And in the meantime, also trying to figure out, okay, what services do I want to provide for people? There's so many things I can choose from. And then like that analysis paralysis that happens, it is just like, oh my gosh. And then I sit here in my room, either at my desk here or on my bed, or I sit downstairs in the living room, and I'm just like, what do I want? What do I want to put energy in? What do I want to really pursue? And sometimes these questions are hard to answer. And then I get stuck in a cycle of like, but I want this, but I see issues there, and how am I going to overcome them? Or actually, maybe I don't want this, but I want that. Or maybe I want both. Do I have time to do this? Now, when I talk business, I'm also talking YouTube, because I would love to get my channel monetized. I would love to, you know, start making some money with not just AdSense, but I'm also looking into affiliate marketing. I have a few affiliate links that are like in my description. I don't want to just randomly throw products out there at people that I personally have never used and say, oh, this is great just because the commission is great. Like, I don't want to do that. I would be lying to you. I'd be lying to myself, and I would go to bed feeling terrible. So, but weeding through that and trying to figure out how this works and how I can set it up. And yeah, there's a whole side to like trying to set this business thing up and doing it the right way, being careful, making sure you have everything, all the ducks in a row. And at the same time, I'm like, do I need to have all the ducks in a row? Because sometimes you just learn by making mistakes. But the whole process can be quite daunting, and it can just make you feel like, oh my gosh, do I really want to do this? Right? And with that comes another thing that a lot of artists will struggle with is uncertain income. Now, I'm making zero money from my art right now, absolutely nothing. And I live right now off of a disability pension and child tax. I do have a side hustle, which is Instacart, but I'm currently not doing that because I decided I wanted to be serious with my YouTube channel and serious with my art. I need to spend time and energy into that. I need to invest into that. And so something else had to take a little bit of a back burner spot. But I will probably in the spring take some time to go ahead and do my side hustle again, just to get a little bit of extra cash flow. I am currently able to manage with the money that's coming in, but I know that that eventually is going to end, because my kids are going to grow up and they're going to become adults. And, you know, as they get older and they become adults, that child tax is going to drop down and down and down until there's no more children that I get child tax for, right? And I cannot just rely on that. So I know there's going to be a gap that I need to fill. So I thought, okay, now would be a good time to start setting up a business so that in years to come, hopefully by the time that all starts to, you know, fall away, I have something else to replace that. But that's a lovely thought. It just hasn't become a reality yet because I'm still in the beginning phases of this whole journey. And that at times is anxiety provoking. I don't always know what the future is going to hold. Am I going to be able to continue doing this? Am I going to be able to pursue and stick with this until this actually starts to become lucrative and becomes, you know, a little bit of income, and some money is starting to flow in from different streams, right? I am a big advocate of not putting all your eggs in one basket, but I think to get started and with the time that I have available to me, I might have to start with one basket, and once that is up and running, I might just need to take some time away from that while that's going, and it might just be sort of self-generating in a way, right? To go and start doing something else and see how that can create some income. And why don't you just get a 9-to-5 job? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first off, not everybody enjoys 9-to-5 jobs. And if you're a single parent and kids are young, that is really hard to do unless you have a good support system as far as childcare is concerned. Otherwise, who's going to pick up your kids from school? Who's going to drop them off? Yeah. And I don't want to go into my whole personal situation, but I'm not in the position to just do that. And I also am of the firm belief that you should do what you love. Now, I hate the phrase, do what you love and you never work a day in your life. That is ridiculous. That is bogus. You can throw that out the window. You're going to have to do work. Everything, even though you love something very passionately, there's always aspects of that job and of that thing that you do that are not so glamorous, that we don't really like, that you're just going to have to muster through. Nobody likes to do taxes. You still got to do it every year. You know, like things like that. There's always downsides to each single job. So if you think that you can pursue your passion and you're going to be, you know, extremely happy because everything you're going to do is going to fuel that passion, reality check. Think again. Now, with this whole business part, there is this like trying to balance work and life, right? If you have kids, they're going to need you. They need your attention. They need your love. They need your care. You need to provide for them, right? You need to give them food or they'll die, right? You're going to have to bring them to school, unless you're homeschooling, but you get the gist. You're like a little taxi service at times. Like I have 4 kids under my roof and 2 fur babies. The dishes don't do themselves, and I do not have a dishwasher, so I have to wash them by hand. The house doesn't clean itself, so you still got to do that. And I'm at this point right now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, even though I actually am pretty good at planning, and for the most part, when I plan my day, I'm like, I'm going to spend 1 hour doing this, then I'm going to spend a half an hour doing that, then I'm going to do an hour of this and a half an hour. Like I break things up into bite-sized pieces and little things get done. And so my household, does get taken care of. Is it in a fashion that I like? No. I would love to actually spend more time on certain things, but at the same time, I want to paint. I want to get this business going. I want to fuel the passion inside of me. I want to feel happy, and I want to do things that make me happy. So I set aside an hour for painting. Then I set aside an hour for, let's say, editing or for videos. Then I set another hour aside for networking on YouTube, because I do love talking to other artists. So, and before you know it, the time that I have, the school hours, it's gone. I have to go. And then I realize, I didn't eat today. Wow, did I actually drink anything? No wonder I feel like crap, because I'm not taking care of myself. So it is really hard to find that balance, and I do my best. I really do. But as of like lately, the last week, I have been struggling. I've been sluggish. I haven't had great night's sleeps, and it had to do just with parenting and kid things. And then there's other stuff like administrative things that come up that you need to deal with. Getting the kids up and going in the morning, making dinner, right, and giving them snacks, and being a parent and trying to be there for them and just be there with them in the moment, while you're also trying to figure out how to set up a website. And there are so many things going on that I am like, I thought I had this figured out as far as planning. And then you get into a bit of a mindset where you're just like, okay, forget it. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. What is the purpose? And I get a little depressed and a little down, and sometimes I get a little dramatic in that, and that I just freeze and I don't do much of anything, or I do stuff, but I complain so hard that my kids at times avoid being around me. So I know that I need to work on that. I don't want to be a negative Nelly all the time. Sure, life is life. Sometimes struggles happen, and it's okay. Like, I don't have to portray like a perfect person to my children, but to get stuck in that mindset, yeah, it's a real thing, and it affects everything around you. So yeah, it's a balance, and it's hard. It is difficult to try and find that balance. And sometimes when you think you found it, and then life throws you something, and you're just like, oh my gosh. Some days I can deal with it and it's okay, and we're moving on. And other days it brings me down, and I just stop whatever I'm doing, and I just end up on my bed watching YouTube, not necessarily to learn stuff, because my brain is already overwhelmed. I won't be able to absorb anything. Just watching mindless stuff, and then nothing gets done. And it's hard, because that cycle keeps going and going, and then I don't make art, and I don't do anything, and I just yeah. I'm probably not the only one. Tell me in the comments, do you struggle with these things as well? Because I feel that this is not something that I am just going through by myself. Now, let's talk about the YouTube journey and the art channel part of this. And if you've come to my channel because you watch videos about, realism, or about how to paint certain parts of an animal and all that stuff, and you see a video like this and you'd be like, oh, that's not what I signed up for. Okay, well, that's fine. You're free to come, you're free to leave. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not binding you on a contract to stay with me as a subscriber. But talking about the art channel and about, okay, what do I want, and what does the audience want? And there is like a little bit of a problem for me, because I actually just recently left a comment on someone's channel. I'm like, okay, I need to find a sweet spot between what I am passionate about, what I love to talk about, what I love to show and I love to do, versus what my audience wants from me. I still need to wake up and go like, yes, I enjoy this because I have a great community that I'm working with. Or, I don't want to be someone's like quick fix in a way. Sure, sometimes videos are like that. People come to YouTube, they search a solution for a problem. If you provided it, great. They watched your video, you got one more view. And then they go on to the next thing, or to another channel that offers that same kind of solution, just a different person that presents it, right? And you know what? Obviously, you're free to do what you want, like on YouTube, and you're free to follow who you want on YouTube. But what I struggle with is, okay, this people-pleasing mentality. I'm like, oh, you got to give the audience what it wants. Okay. Yeah, to an extent, I'm okay with that. Like, that's why I have polls. That's why I ask people questions. What kind of videos would you like to see in the future? And I get a little bit of an idea what people are looking for. If that lines up with something that I feel happy creating, then that's good, win-win. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to go out of my way creating something that I absolutely have no passion about, because first off, it's going to show through. You're going to show up fake. People are going to pick up on that. And there's just, I mean, I'm not looking for 1 million subscribers. I'm not looking for, you know, viral videos. I'm looking for an audience that can resonate, you know, with me, that sees me as a person, you know, that isn't just here, you know, to... No, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm just sitting here going completely blank. I don't know. I don't know what to say right now. The cats are destroying stuff downstairs. I don't know. YouTube is hard. It's not like an easy journey. You see a lot of like overnight successes. That's great. I mean, congratulations to those people. But I find the majority of people, I read a lot of comments and stuff like that, they struggle. And I'm one of them. I struggle. And I don't always feel like showing up. I don't always know what to film. And sure, there's lots of things out there that can give you video ideas. And that's nice. And you can take an idea and make a video about it, but am I passionate about that? Or am I just trying to fill in that one gap because I need to have a video out every week? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the art niche is different than a lot of other niches on YouTube. Some of the you know, advices regarding thumbnails and titles don't always apply for those that are like in the art niche, and some of it does. Absolutely, you can try to marry the two together, but it is a slightly different approach. I think a potential pitfall with YouTube and art, that you are actually creating art because you're trying to monetize it. You're trying to create art so it will sell. You're trying to create art so your video will get views. And then what am I doing? Am I lying to myself? Who am I showing up for? Am I showing up for myself? Am I showing up for those, the little handful of people that appreciate me? Am I showing up for a majority that I don't know, that doesn't know me, that never interacts with me, that just comes and wants a certain tutorial? I think you kind of get the gist here. Like, it's not just happy-go-lucky, everything is fine, everything is great. There are struggles and hurdles to overcome, and sometimes you get into a lull, and sometimes you just don't want to do things, and sometimes it's hard to show up, and sometimes you just don't wanna. And I cannot be the only one. And let's have a talk about this. Let's just be transparent and honest. It's not always rainbows and unicorns. And how do you deal with it? What do you do, and what helps you, right? And I don't want to throw out a video there saying, oh, why you should start an art channel even if nobody is watching, while I'm actually kind of in the dumps about it. Like, I'm not going to do that, because I want to be true and authentic to myself, and I'm not going to be out there selling something that I'm not really personally feeling at this point. I think it's a great idea to do in the future, but I'm thinking I want to just show you, okay, I'm a human being just like everybody else. I'm not a robot. I'm not a genius in all kinds of areas. I'm just a person trying to make it work, right? And I think we might need to just step away from, oh, but you got to do this. You're going to have this lighting. You're going to have to, you know, have a studio set up like that, or you're going to have to show up this way or people won't watch. Well, then those people that don't want to watch are just not my people. I'm looking for my people. I'm looking for that audience that is there, thick and thin, understands that I'm a human being and I'm going through the motions, and that not every video is going to be great. Not everything is going to be top-notch quality, because I'm a human being. The reality is that we all struggle, you know, that I struggle in my art. I struggle in being motivated. I sometimes struggle making videos or wanting to make videos. I sometimes just want to hide under my covers. Oh, but that sounds like you're depressed. You need to find professional help. Yeah, okay, been there, done that. Don't get me started on what it actually means to be depressed or having some mental health issues. Why do you think I'm on this? Why do you think I'm on disability? Because I was diagnosed with a mental health issue. I know what it's like to be depressed, and I also know when I'm heading into dangerous territory, and I definitely need to seek out help. It's not where I'm at right now. I just feeling a little down. I'm just feeling a little bleh. And I just wanted to share from my own heart, from my own experiences, and say, if you're in that same spot, it's okay. I get it. We all are having issues so once in a while, right? We're not perfect, neither should we be. And I think we need to keep a realistic look on things. Now, if you've watched it till this far, I am super grateful. This was not a scripted video by any means, and it probably shows, and I'm just like, I'm all over the map. I don't like this at all. I'm probably going to cringe really hard when I'm going to edit this. But I just wanted to throw it out there that sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't want to do things. And sometimes you struggle. Being an artist is not all, roses, unicorns, rainbows, fill in the blank. It's hard. There are struggles. There are processes you go through. And I just wanted to have an open and honest chat about those. And I probably missed a whole bunch that can be mentioned. Let's have a talk in the comments section. This does not have to be the end of this conversation. I just wanted to show up and say, you know what? Right now, I'm kind of struggling. And if it shows in my videos, it shows in my videos. Because I'm human and I just am like everybody else. We don't always feel that we are on top of our game. Now, that's not to say that I'm not going to create any more videos. That's not to say that I'm going to stop painting. I just wanted to have an honest chat. That, yes, there are hard times. Yes, it can feel like an endless hustle. Yes, it can feel like you're doing a lot of work without much in return. Yes, that sucks. End of story. But I still want to say, stay happy and keep your peace, and may God bless you, because you've got this. I've got this. We'll see you in the next one.